Well, hello, creatives, community, and kind folks. Welcome to RPG with DBJ. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good, well, very late at night, whenever you are taking place in this. The RPG with DBJ channel is one that is made up of uh, chaos, but creativity, um, gonzo ideas, yet uh, common sense. But today we are going far further into the this doesn't make any sense to do this without preparation idea because heck, ooh, like June says, for me it's high noon. Yes. All right, so there are many people who are finding the channel, and I have lots of people that I feel that I have not adequately thanked for their participation. So here on Wednesdays, and Wednesdays have always been World Building Wednesday, um, we are going to do just that. We're going to world build. Now, if you're able to see this, you'll see that there is a challenge, a GTFO challenge. Doesn't necessarily mean what you think it does, but it kind of does. Okay, it's the going too far off the map challenge, and this is a writing prompt, world build together combination challenge. Now, what I hope happens is that we have enough people, half a dozen individuals or more, who are going to participate over the next 30 days ish, and as we create various realms on the edges of our collective meta fantasy ideas. And I will get into the challenge. It is available here. It's on the Discord. I posted on Facebook. I sent it as a um, YouTube post, and if anybody wants me to personally send it to their DMs, I will be more than happy to do so. We're going to read through it if you are unable to see it or you're just listening in, and follow along. Now, normally, common sense would say, well, why don't we prepare this in a greater format before starting? And I'm always a person who I'm the penguin in the water first, and worry about the killer whales later. So this project is a writing prompt, and I would absolutely positively love if all of you, and today we are going to go through this writing process. I'm an outline writer. I'm a carpenter, not a gardener, and you'll see through how I write as a carpenter, outlining or bullet pointing or numbering, filling those numbers out. We're going to do that together today, and where I hope this challenge will take you. So, um, reading this post that I put up is about the GTFO, or going too far off the map project. So we're going to pick a common, boring, fun, meta, memorable, annoying, or obnoxious thing in TTRPGs, tabletop RPGs. We're going to turn that thing into a wondrous location and use this to world build. So we're going to go wild, be creative, be unique, build friction points in your specific region. So example prompts are using spells such as like Acid Splash, Disguise Self, Featherfall, Fall Cloud, Mage Armor, Mage Hand, Message, Sanctuary, Speak with Animals, Unseen Servant are some examples. Like common spells. We're going to take this and we're going to shape a realm about this. Um, Oh man! Oh, thanks there, J Dub. We're also going to use such prompts like monsters, such as the Ankeg, basilisks. My face is in front of some of these words. Cockatrice, dragon wormlings, doppelgangers, ghouls and gas, maybe mimics, rust monsters, swarms, lycanthropes, and much, much more. Now, what I also hope that people maybe latch on to is using, when I say obnoxious and gonzo and meta, what I mean is there are things within the that have come about through our collective fantasy tabletop RPG community, in the sense of ridiculous concepts that we have put together because of the rules or the setting, that yet we haven't seen a setting based around that particular thing. One of them, which I think is actually the most ridiculous thing in the world, and this is only because of how the rules are set, is the peasant railgun. Um, for those who don't know, there's a thing considered the peasant railgun, and that is, as a free action, you can use an object. You can pass an object to another person, and the idea is that you line up like hundreds of peasants, and they each hand each other like a spear or an object or a stone or something. And because you can do this freely on your turn, each it doesn't cost time to hand off this object. So the idea of the peasant railgun is that 100 people will hand off something, and it blasts through each of them at less than 1 second as they each hand each other a stone, and at the end of it accelerates till it explodes or something. Now, really, you know, physics wise, it's impossible, and even in the game rules, nothing accelerates because you hand it to someone. But it's silly. But it's a peasant railgun. The other one that's actually possible is the, I don't know if you guys have heard of this. It's the weapon of mass destruction. So you take any combination of a bag of holding or Heward's handy haversack and a portable hole or another bag of holding or whatever. You take two of them and you attach them open. One is open, one's closed, and you attach it to a rod or a spring or a javelin or a ballista or something. And the other one is wrapped around the shaft of the item. And then when you launch it towards your enemy, one bag or portable hole goes into the other one, and then it explodes while it engulfs everything in it and around it and creating this like black hole effect or whatever. Um, Again, something ridiculous, but there's lots of ridiculous things out there that we can use. We're going to use, strangely enough, we're going to use the light spell today. But to continue on with this description here, I would like you to detail your region. So allow space for many permutations. Create 21 D12 tables, and this is where we're going to talk about the outlining of it. 21 D12 tables using the prompts to the right, which I just read, and categories below, which I'll read to you in a minute. One D12 table for each. So we have like agents, allies, antagonists, dangers, details, distractions, magic, monsters, motivations, names, nature, notions, past, present, premonitions, people, places, possessions, and sights, sounds, and sensations. And by using these prompts and categories, and you may not be able to fill all of them out instantly, but the idea is to fill out as many as you can, and then using those little prompts, and you can use just one word, maybe one sentence, and start to fill them out, and which we're going to do live here. And then from that point on, we were going to start to build it out even further and further, as you start adding lines to these D12 tables so that someone can visit your obnoxiously strange realm and then use those tables to mix and match and modulate the thing that you're creating to give them tools for what you want to do. All right. Thomas Anderson says a fun one is a flashlight, i.e., a paper tube with paper caps and one cast spell of light on the inside of the tube. Need light, remove one cap, turn off, put on that cap. Yeah, and you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're going to take this. The idea is to take this too far. Like we want to go too far off into a strangeness of obnoxiousness. Now, when it comes to spells and monsters, using like rust monsters that have dominated a region, or doppelgangers that have completely infiltrated some part of society, or anything, hags or fiends or celestials, wherever you want to use, right? You can even go to like something very specific. I'm trying to think of like a strangely, oddly specific monster, cloakers, right? Like what, like a place that has all, like, people for some reason are inundated with cloakers, and are they friends with them, or are the cloakers in charge, like something like that? Well, the idea is to use your D12 tables in those prompts to allow every permutation you can think of that someone can pick, like using rolling up some parchment and put a cap on either end and flipping it up and using it as a flashlight. um I think we're going to get into some crazy and some sick details. So I'm going to turn this off and share something else. Let's go to, there we go. Why does it say people? Oh, I know why it says people. All right. We're going to share a oh, live stream. Mm-mm. Okay. So, hey, Blue Toad. Hey, what's going on there? Thank you for being present here. I hope this is large enough for you to see this. If I see it, pop it up a little bit. That's too big. I don't want to keep filling with it, so we'll keep it here. All right. So here we have our little GTO subject matter and a bunch of these categories, and we're going to make them D12 tables. So allow me to present to you some strangeness and some goodness in terms of using the light spell and where I'm coming from and where I hope you guys go too. So we all know that the light spell itself easy. It's become, it used to be your only spell you could pick as a wizard back in the day, even though they even had a continual light spell. But as it's moved on, it's become a cantrip. It's easy. Light and darkness has become nearly irrelevant with dark vision being available in fifth edition and the light spell being easy to cast. The only difference with it is that you really can't cast it multiple times, and they kind of eliminated the continual light spell. But we're going to modify that. Um, Now, for those who don't know, you've probably caught me doing this. We did this with the light spell. We did this with blink dogs and displacer beasts, which you know you kind of have to call them like shadow cats now or something different. We've done this with the floating disc spell and some others. It was like a what if series, but I think we should bring it back. So a society that has easy access to the light spell would probably not be scared of the dark most of the time. Much like in our current society, we have electricity. That electricity allowed us to create focus that electricity into light bulbs that were created, and so now we dispel darkness. Well, that also not only does that make people less scared of the dark, it also allows us to extend our ability to operate into the dark. Uh, Bluetooth says, "I prefer tentacats." Yeah. So using the light spell, that means that we can have more hours, maybe even 24 hours of work available from people in a city. All right. Hey, Mike. All of you are my co-hosts, so thank you for very much for being part of the show. So, what if we have a community, a society that has 24 hours of work available to the workers? Well, um, I miss thermal vision as well. I miss that too. TA says it also exposes all the things in the dark we need to be scared of, causing us to have fear that we can we can name. Yeah, yeah, right, right. Absolutely. And then Druden says maybe they use the light spell exactly because of being afraid of the dark. Right. And there's so much for nameless things. So not only is it, and here I think is where we can start with adding to our list here, right? When we come to using our list for like agents and allies and details and dangers and things of that nature, right? So we could maybe we want to add something like that into our uh, details section. Let's see. Let's reduce the size of that to like 14. Take the bold off. Add a number in here, and we're gonna go. We're gonna put this as no fear of the dark. And then we're going to add to that. We're going to say, um, um, what's a good term for people being, um, oh, naming fears is an occupation. Maybe we might want to put that see dangers, agents. We'll put that under here. So we'll say naming fearful uh, obstacles is an occupation. We can come up with the name of it later on. So this is the kind of thing I'm talking about, where it's not necessarily. I don't want you to. I don't want you to come to a conclusion, right? This is We're not making an equation and we're trying to find the answer. What we're doing is we're coming up with all the variables and let somebody else come up with those answers. Maybe the player characters, maybe this region. We may have using these prompts, or I'm sorry, using these categories. We may have people that are in opposition to one thing or another. For example, there may be people who exist outside the system. Let's see. Let's With antagonists, there may be shadow walkers who want the light X. Okay, sting wished. I didn't spell it right. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Right. So maybe the people in this world, in this light shrouded, light covered world, are losing. They're not afraid of the dark any longer, which means that the, the fear to have things like phobias, yeah, right, like phobias. Maybe these people don't have that as a natural instinct, making them fall into harm's way when they leave the city. It could be naming. Well, TA is like, well, would naming fears as an occupation just be a psychologist? Sure. Maybe we want to make them a little bit more proactive, like, because in a fantasy world, the things we fear actually exist. So maybe that's a thing. Mike says, I tend to insert horror elements. I go the opposite direction. I place sounds outside of visible range. I have things burrow below and let the PCs feel the movement. Paranoia is a GM tool. So I definitely agree with that. We can add that to our what's at the bottom here, because it's alphabetical order. We can do sight, sounds, and sensations. So let's add something to our sounds. Let's lower this so we have a little bit of a thing here, and we go sounds replace visual uh visual horrors, uh and I'll put things that go bump in the night. Right? So maybe the people here, they aren't scared of what they see, but they're actually additionally afraid of what they hear because it's outside of their visual range. Which I can see that. Did people in our lives do that? I don't know. Mm-mm-mm. Mike's like, can I swing that hammer like it owes me money? Yeah, TA's like, it's also a role playing game. Paranoia. Yes, paranoia is a very well game. Game. No, shadow's already used. Zamar says shadow weasel, a creature that feeds off light. Will Smith's like, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Huh? I hope that's you so silly. I hear you there. I hear. Shade weasel. Okay, so let's go to some monsters, and we could actually change and flip and twist some of these things, which is I hope that we are able to do. So let's go with a shadow monster, like some kind of like light eating destruct, like a creature that could get rid of something. So a shade weasel. Shade weasel feeds on light and light. So maybe this creature or something extinguishes light sources, or like maybe a I'm just making something up, pulling this out my ass. Like maybe this creature, if you have a torch, the flame doesn't go out, but maybe the light of the flame goes out. Maybe it just flickers like gray and black and blues, and it sheds no light, but it still like burns. Or maybe a if someone casts a light spell, it can it about it can sense and track the light spell being used. That would be pretty interesting as well. And like, let me give you some examples that I came up with. There could be something like light torture, where light is cast into the eyeballs of individuals who are enemies of the state, causing them to, tear up and never be able to sleep because light is burning into their eyes. There could be maybe blind sight as warriors is a commonality, as people are used to having light all around them, or light is used as a weapon, as scouts and soldiers and such, meaning like maybe they have pouches filled with stones that have light on them, and they throw those stones into the wilderness as they go along, using that as a form of martial uh, martial superiority over other troops, because they always have a light source. They throw it in the darkness, very difficult to hide in places. If they are unable to cast the spell, we could find out a way that they get the light in the first place. Like, is there a light casting guild, like uh, smaller than a wizard's school, but larger than a guild of like merchants or carpenters or skills, that they find people who are just smart enough to learn the light skill, the light spell, to support themselves and their family. And then those individuals are sent out with troops or scouts or city guards or something like that, and they can throw like little charms that are illuminated into dark corners or alleys and tell people to come out. I Maybe the good guys live in the shadows. Someone could come up with like an oath of the shadow walker or something. Hey there, Don. Hey, good morning, everyone. Let's see. Mike says, shadow walkers under my reign would be a culture that evolved in darkness. They would have larger, milky white eyes, little or no hair, and would spider climb on walls and ceilings. They might communicate with clicks and whistles. Ooh, shadow walkers. So, and we can start changing up names and things like that. Like, do we want to make them a monster? You know what? Let's make them people. Let's make them antagonists and make them people. Maybe they've been transformed in some kind of way. Uh, Come on, it's knock this size down. And let's see, shadow walkers. Oops, yeah, I see it. um, so shadow walkers. Uh, um, that let want the want the light extinct. Okay, I, I worded that very strangely. Want to extinguish the light. Want the light extinguished. Walkers. They are mutated from living in the shadows. Communicate with clicks and whistles. I think I spelled that right. And spider climb into the rare arc spaces. Here we go. Maybe all of the light that, this is arcane light. Maybe that light does a does a thing. John Wright says maybe it feeds off of photons on a submolecular level. That's a bit sciency, but you know maybe that's a thing. Of course, the city probably drove out. You could add in other light sources, like maybe dancing lights and the daylight spells and some of the other spells. Fairy fire may be very common. Um, Someone could design a sub race for characters to pick if they're from this place, or maybe even uh, mutated by living here a little bit too long, where they have access. On one hand, they may have access to the light or daylight or fairy fire or dancing light spells, similar to the drow elves. But on the other hand, maybe there's some kind of weakness you get. Like, instead of a shadow made out of darkness, your shadow is illuminated at nighttime or something. Like you cast a shadow at night of illumination or whatever. TA says I can see someone taming shadow weasels by casting light on paper and wrapping it up like a treat for the shadow weasel. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. I like that. Okay, so let's put that under maybe details. Just uh details and distractions. Let's put it under that. Let's go with that and just say like uh let's see light um light distractions. We have to come up with better names for this. Small objects um in enchanted with capital L light can be used to uh, domesticate, distract, or maybe even we'll leave it at that. Domesticate or distract shadow weasels and other adapted. Uh, um, I'll put pests. I'll put pests. Let's get back in the chat. Light eaters might be another name for them, or perhaps sensory pets they keep. Light eaters. We'll keep that name. We'll keep that name around, Mike. Blink hoppers produces blinding light flashes when surprised. Harmless delicacies, light on fat pile of spice. Oh, do I have the ability? Let's see. Can I? Oh, I can't copy and paste. Foobar. Drag to move. I don't want to drag to move. I want to copy and paste. Yeah, I don't have the ability to do that over. Okay. Okay. So let's go in. Let's go in here. We got to have a monster. We definitely have to have a light elemental. Light elemental, and we could come up with another name uh like lumen. What are some other names for light? Photon, lumen, lumen illumination, sparkle. You know me with the with my addiction to thesauruses. As a matter of fact, maybe somebody call up a thesaurus and just start picking out different words or things for them. Oh, what was the other name? Light. What did you say, Mike? Light eaters. Let's put that with our antagonists because they're more. I'm picturing them as. Let's go light eaters. And we can mix and match this kind of stuff. But and of course, I think you guys are getting what I'm getting at, right? Like you know, uh, what are some other details? Maybe people are if this is a totalitarian government or style government, some kind of imperial a government, maybe people are expected to work long hours because there's no need for them to stop work if they can continue working in the daylight. There could be um, uh, um, people who try to hide, like hide things in the dark, hide away from the light, might be considered anti. What's a good name for a realm like this? Anti. They are um, anti sunwalkers, right? It's like why do you have a space in your home that doesn't have illumination in it? You know, maybe there are police officers that go around into the shadows, searching for places to eliminate shadows. It could be this place started Lux Carnate. Ooh, yeah, we're stealing that. Thank you, M. Thank you there, M squared. Lux Carnates. I don't make that a monster. We'll make that a monster, but I like that as people, right? Yeah, I don't know what they do yet, but it sounds kind of cool. Lucence, yeah, lucent is a word for light. Blue says, "Is the stream blurry for anyone else?" It could be. I don't know. I feel like it's out there. Yeah, TA mentioned light elementals. Glow moths, insects attracted to light sources, glow softly in the dark, iridescent in the light. That now that could be a very fun. Let's put glow moths down as maybe distractions, and then what we'll do is glow moths attracted to light. And what else did you say? I apologize. The light sources glow softly in the dark, iridescent in the light. Okay. Attracted to light sources. Um, why is my brain not working? Yep, yep. Glow softly in the dark. Glows softly in the dark and iridescent. There we go. Thank you for iridescent in the light. And this may be something like this could actually be under details as well. This may be something that player characters discover on their way to finding this place. And let me add to this. I'll put down something like question mark acts as fairy fire outside the city. Shitty. City outside outside the city question mark, right? Like maybe as the players get close, they meet bandits on the road. You know, the wizard or somebody else in the party or whatever, they cast light spell. Everybody's casting a light spell, and all of a sudden these little moths, they're non-combatant, but they flow around the PCs, and all of a sudden they're illuminated by these like pesky moths. And in the town, people love these things. Maybe they feed them. Maybe they do feed on the light a little bit. You know, yeah, it could be something like that. Uh, Phosphorescence, the phosphorescence. Okay, let's go with the. Do we want to make them a monster? Let's make them people. You know what? Let's make them. Okay, so sorry, agents, allies, and antagonists. I'm thinking antagonists are like things against the people who live here. That's so it's not that we're thinking about player characters, which they could be antagonists against the player characters, but these could be like these are individuals, people, situations, or mostly sentient that are against the player characters are probably going to get in conflict with. Allies are people they can count on, and then agents is like I'm feeling like doesn't fit either role. Like a merchant in a city is neither harmful or helpful. So I'm going to put them under agents and call them phos for phosphor phosphor. It's not. I've got to put the wrong improper emphasis on the incorrect syllables. Phosphorescence. Will that auto? I love the name, but yeah. Anyway, okay. All right, let me get back up to you guys. All right, so TA says, could a bunch of elementals like small ones that are called sparks could be a bunch of elementals. Sorry about this. Small ones that are called sparks, while others might be stellar in size and power, all with different capabilities and lifespans. I I like that, and I think there's a very easy way for us to reskin, recontextualize, reuse. So we're going to go sparks, maybe methods of light, methods of light, and then we'll go, because you mentioned light elementals. Maybe they have far more personality. Uh, like what's a great big huge energy light elemental, like we'll call that second stage, uh second stage mm, photonic monster, and then a large celestial like constellation size, we'll put a, let's call it a cons- constellar maybe. We'll put that mega sized elemental slash uh genie slash will o wis. Yeah, maybe something that's not humanoid, but it does have some personality. It could be related to something that's undead. Someone dies, and instead of turning into like zombies or skeletons, they turn into some kind of light, something that gives off light. Although skeleton, ooh, skeletons and zombies, maybe the strangely enough, maybe the people glow from within. So if they're like, there's certain individuals that if they achieve a certain level of iridescence, iridescent, there's another word, iridescence, that they glow from within like a skeleton glows brightly, almost you can't even look at it. If their skeleton is animated, because that's where the light leans inside of. Drew says, I also eat only light. I call it a diet. I hear your stomach gurgling. Yeah, I eat only light. Yeah. Boom, boom. John Rice says the name Lucifer means light bearer from the root word lucent. Ooh, I wonder. Yeah, 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 yeah. So these were maybe people there. Lucents. Let's say individuals who have ascended to lighthood. Let's say let's put near Celestine level question mark. I don't know if we want a whole city filled with angelic beings, but yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe there's a way. Uh, this could be sorcerer style, where this can happen over time. This could be someone who goes through a particular series of trials, anything like that. Um, to oppose a starlight god level elemental, one must have a void elemental that feeds ever on that light god too. Ooh, maybe the society. This could be the aftermath of other player characters who were in another adventure that maybe fought like a void, a godly celestial void-like being or something from the the outer nether realms or something. And the only way these people have been able to survive and live long enough is because of this void god that maybe either lives underneath or even above them or something like. Yeah, 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 I like that idea. We're going to add that. If it feeds on light, then it might be lumophagent or phosphoragent. Lumophagent. Okay, here we go. Let's put that under dangers. So let me reduce this down. Sorry about this. Okay, clickety clack. All right. Uh, Lumophagents. A a trait a trait local uh local. I'm going to call it wild life has that enables them to feed on light and light. And maybe this is just a trait you can layer onto things. Dusk beast. I like that. Phosphorigent, phosphorphingents. I don't know. I'm loving this. Dusk beast, creatures only visible within the light. They attack those immersed in darkness with clubbing paws. Ooh, only visible within the light. Dusk beast. Gotta add some of that. Maybe like um, a dusk beast could be the opposite of a like what's it called? Invisible stalker, or what? Okay, I'm taking your thing a little bit too far, but which is what we're trying to do. Take something a little bit too far, but maybe there are various monstrosities that are either pacified in the light, almost domesticated in the light, but they're hyper violent in the darkness, or the opposite, something that in the darkness is actually pacified, asleep, um, has been maybe there are like hunters in the light where it's in the darkness, but when it goes into the light, it becomes extremely violent, and maybe there are agents in the city that patrol around that are um, enacted to go into the darkness. They are the warriors that go into the darkness to kill these things because once they get into the light, they become far more violent. I don't know. Plasma's another great name we can take as well. Thank you there, J Dub. TA says also means there could be various size darkness elementals, like the light based elementals, such as small ones like sparks, could have opposing darkness elemental too. Like right. Both fairy like. I didn't think of fae, but yeah. I'm liking that. Yeah. Let's. Okay, we're filling up our antagonists. Are we filling? No, we're not. Okay, so we're going to have mm, darkness, Eben, Eben Fay. Um, let's say living darkness opposed to the light in constant uh, conflict on the edges of the light domes surrounding the city. Like maybe there's like I don't want to say there's a war going on per se, but maybe they like come into conflict with each other, almost like sparks from a distance. You just see like a fireflies or insects that spark off of like the dark lights, the black lights or something. And maybe these like fey creatures, both of light and dark, kind of have these mini battles, and they're trying to recruit the PCs into it. John Heliopaths. Ooh, Luna Lovegood said that heliopaths are spirits of fire. Heliopaths. Now uh, that sounds like. There we go. I didn't reduce that down. That sounds like a. Um, that sounds like something the player characters might be able to. Now let's stick them under allies because that might be something player characters would like to be part of. Heliopaths. That might be the the nice occupation in this really strange light based place. So Mars is blaze fruit tree, plant that produces beautiful pale flowers but void black fruit. Eating more than half of it at the peak of freshness causes you to glow with a soft light. Eating more than half of it when it's not at peak freshness causes you to go blind. Blaze fruit trees, yeah. Yeah, kind of teach the PCs a lesson when they want to get a little bit too much. Dangerous detail. We could put details maybe under magic. Nope, we're putting it under nature. We're putting it under nature. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Fruit trees eating half of the fruit makes one glow, makes one have a soft glow, whereas eating a whole I got unripe. I gotta put ripe up there. I'll put it unripe fruit causes one to go blind. I wonder. I wonder if there would be a like a path of like martial training for blind sight because of those who have gone blind from all the light. Like that might be considered being blind might be considered a type of an honorific, like an honored position. Maybe people here tend to go blind earlier in life, and so blindness is not considered a weakness, but it's considered like an honorable station. They've lived here long enough that that's something that happens, and other people kind of look forward to that. That might be a possibility. What a great side note! What a great way to incorporate what in today's world we some people would consider a very horrible handicap, to make that a form of positivity and light, and we came about that through the natural progression of creativity without specifically hammering somebody over the head about like inclusion or something like that, which is where I think the best ideas come from. It just comes out like organically. Mike says a light is measured in lux. Yes, luxors might be a name. Luminescence is the term for bearing light. Lumens might work too as well. Absolutely. And they could be like titles or something like military titles, titles in government, or what have you. Bluetooth says, I see we're talking about the umbral blot, eh? Ooh. Yes, we are. Let's see. Let's make that a place. I don't know if that's what you were referring to, and I'll change it if you prefer me to do that. But let's make that a place. The umbral lot. Uh, a location. No, these are more than okay. Locations. Um, impenetrable. God, I can't spell. Yes, I know. I know. Impenetrable with any a sort of light, any sort of capital L light. Um, that could be a natural occurrence that something happens like over time. This society is these like umbral blots that are almost like black holes of darkness, and Arcanists and other people are trying to get rid of them. Maybe they're able to move them like balls of helium balloons or something. Maybe kind of sort of, and it's starting to get worse and worse. They could even be spawning shadows or something. Uh, Thomas Anderson says the void elementals could be basically from tiny living shadows. Thank you very much for going there. That absorb light to a sentient black hole elemental to build a mythology off that void being one of two primary gods, the other being. Ooh, maybe they're bringing back this void god, or the void god is desperately trying to come back as well. Uh, the star that is a massive light elemental that is ancient and older than even the world. What if it looks like the sun never sets above this city, but and you're never supposed to look directly at the sun. It's always sitting at high noon, and maybe the city is covered by this glare from this high noon sun, but really what it is, it's just this like glowing elemental, and the elemental could be half a dozen to hundreds of miles overhead, but it's so bright that the day night cycles everywhere else in the world don't matter. It's still super bright, it's floating up there or something. Drudva says, now I want a monk order that follows the way of the light, in contrast to the way of shadow from D&D. Yeah, yeah. I like that idea. I like that. And you could really, I wonder if you could reshape it. Or what if rogues in this place are not experts in hiding in shadows, but hiding in the light? And what I mean by it is, instead of like stealth, they use more blending in, disguise, because there are no shadows here. They do other methods to hide in plain sight, maybe. TA says, would Thomas Anderson says, would be interesting if the entire world is an elemental too, that basically can react like earthquakes and thought projection into the minds of people it becomes aware of. Um, I would put I would put that down as a premonition. Uh, I would put that down as a premonition because we want to be able to. And I only dispute you on that slightly because we want to be able to have a number of these things happen, and player characters could visit them in their own worlds, right? But I'll say elemental here radiance. Um, this society is living above, below a growing elemental that will one day consume or maybe ascend the entire population. It may even be possible that they might go to another realm. Maybe this is a natural thing. It'll feed on the people and go, I'm going to the ethereal plane. See everybody. Dusk beasts could be ranged monsters which live at the cusp of light and dark. Okay. The 5 foot area of dim light around a torch, yeah, allowing positional battles, but also difficult to hit, as hard to see. Damn, dude. Okay, all right. Um, yeah, maybe. Ooh, what if dusk beasts um, operate on the edge of light and darkness? Dim light can move. Okay, we'll say can move not instantly. Able to move without um, without causing. I know it's not the word. Causing an opportunity attack in into a re into a 5 foot space of dim light, including light. Sorry, light cast by the PCs. So if I get what you're saying there, Marin, is that like maybe these monsters, just where they live, like on the cusp of darkness and light, and if a PC moves towards one of these creatures, let's say with a torch or a staff with a light spell cast on it, it moves back into that dim light region. And so, like a PC, if a PC dashes towards one of these monsters, it can like backpedal into the dark region or like circle around the PC or something like that. I like that idea. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I like that. Really. Now you could maybe conversely, they could be pressed up against a wall and not have a way to get escape. But as long as that circle of light has a dim circle around it, maybe they could just pivot around it very easily. I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. Firefox, a small creature that hunts by lighting its prey on fire, a nuisance in towns and cities, dangerous to young children. Ooh, Firefox. There we go. No, you know what? You know what? Let's put that down into nature, and so like maybe even a PC can get one as a familiar. Didn't really talk too much about fire being a thing, but yeah. Um, let's see, ignites um, flammables during uh, its I don't know n- nocturnal um, uh, nocturnal paths, a nuisance. Yes, I know nuisance in the city. Uh, playthings of small children. Maybe they don't mean to do it or something. I don't know. I probably I probably screwed up what you said. Let's put this. Um, things hunts. Yeah, hunts by lighting its prey on fire. Um, like maybe it goes after things like bugs, small birds, field mice, things like that, and like just like gets close to them and then it just whips his tail, like lights them on fire or something, and just it eats them up. And then and like they're not. Maybe they aren't. Maybe they can grow as large as a warg or a hellhound, or so. Oh, ooh. Sorry, thought of a monster. Okay, so we're gonna call it not a hellhound, but we'll call it a fire. I'll just here. Here's what we'll do. Hell hounds, not from the nether. No, neither realms, but fully grown fire foxes. And they probably look like foxes. Uh, why is that? Oh, I guess it's hmm. One word. Oh, all right. Whatever. Uh, uh, okay. Yeah, maybe they're very intelligent too. Okay, let's get back to our co-hosts because they're the most important ones. Um, Thomas Anderson leaves open a third mythos that is of a balance of the world, aware that the void elemental is constantly consuming the star elemental's energy so that it does not destroy the world. Also, the constant assault of light from the stellar elemental on the void elemental keeps it from growing, so attacking with damage to void elemental creatures would make them stronger, feeding various damages. I love that. I wish I need to cut and paste that. Ooh, that puts the player characters in a sticky situation, don't it? Um, Fesu. Okay, dead man. Fesu are large space-going moths that travel in swarms and glow green with the phosphorants generated by their bodily fluids. They are considered bad luck by travelers since their glow attracts monsters. Ooh, I'm loving this. All this. By the way, the chat is saved for me, so I can add this. But um, going back to the beginning of this challenge, I don't know what you call it. Yeah, challenge subject whatnot. Let me page back to the beginning of this document so those who are at the end understand what's going on. This is the going too far off the map idea where we take these categories and fill them in based on a simple, pretty common or strange or even meta kind of a even jokes that we have in our own tabletop community. And we're just talking about the light spell. We're going all off the deep end and exactly where I wanted us to go. Mike Marin says blindfolds of different colors could be fashionable or emblems of title. Hell's yes. Hell's yes. I could even see clerics and warlocks kind of wearing them as a like for their faith. Warriors like monks and paladin styled warriors wearing them because they are blind fighters. Again, titles of political titles, like judges and uh, judges, prosecutors, other agents might wear blindfolds, like the idea of justice is blind as well. Um, yeah, I could see that. To be unjudgmental is to wear a blindfold to be allowed to even have one. Thomas Anderson says eating one of those void fruits could be a remedy for having continual light cast on someone's eyes so they can now see again and have some relief from being blinded. Yeah, maybe the people that are punished in the city, their eyes glow like with this like super bright light every time they blink. Everyone knows they're like marked because they know that they're criminals and whatnot. They have to walk around with this light in their eyes. It's like causing them to tear up and cry all the time. They can't even sleep very well. Family members are trying to alleviate the pain by putting drops in their eyes, like inky drops in their eyes, and it just doesn't work. I love it. Glow dews, glow moth eggs, a material component in changing the color of light and flames from red to violet. That's kind of a cool idea. Maybe even components for like hypnotic patterns, prismatic sprays. What's the other one? Chromatic orbs. There's some other prismatic chromatic spells out there that might be a thing that's very common here, or at least the components for them are, or to be taught those things could be here. John Rice says perhaps normal physical vision obscures and drowns out inner vision, so only someone that has been blinded fully or partially can gain inner second sight, like Odin sacrificing an eye to gain wisdom. Hell yeah, hell's yes. Um, I like that. Maybe that's the process that. Okay, so player characters come across a large portion of the population that's blind, but they have an inner sight. PCs end up finding out that you've got to sacrifice quite a bit to gain that kind of power, that kind of those kind of capabilities, which might be an easy example of explaining like how. Let me pull something out of my ass, like how a zero level commoner suddenly becomes has the capabilities of like a sphinx or a naga or ogre magi, rakshasa. Like I like to pick those as some of my favorite reskinables, and maybe that's an easy way for them. Like they don't gain levels, but they gain this inner sight that gives them special magical abilities or something like that, without having to explain like how did that zero level commoner become like a ninth level wizard. Well, here's why. Never glowing caves, a dangerous cave that is known for having a permanently impenetrable darkness in it. There's rumor of a hidden city of riches and lost knowledge within. Hell's yes, hell yeah, and people just never come back. And the humanity that's around the city is like you telling their kids you never go there. Hmm. Hadar is a sentient singularity, black hole connection. Yeah, what is it? The Hadar spells, tentacles of Hadar, and there's some other spells. Hadar is a single singularity, and every single time that spell is cast, it's coming from literally one single location. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty hilarious. I love that. Someone casts a spell twice, and it's like, why is that tentacle cut off? That looks exactly like the tentacle that got cut off 3 days ago. Yes, yes, it has. TA says, and yes, attacking it is like digging to a hole. It gets bigger, but feeding it is like filling the hole. It gets smaller and weaker. Thus, it is held in check by feeding on the star elemental. Ooh. While keeping the star elemental from burning all life from the world. So the balance between these two massive elementals is what makes all life possible. Wow. So maybe those kind of things, darkness spell, shadows, shadow demons, um tentacles of Hadar, and other kinds of things, maybe they just spawn up. Maybe those are dangers. I know we're getting late here. Okay, dangers. Okay, Spontaneous. We could spread this out. Spontaneous darkness. Okay. Uh Tentacles uh of Hadar. Although I think that is a proper name. I don't think it's in the SRD, but whatever. Darkness spell shadows and shadow demons spawn randomly and or in areas spoiled by continual light. Continual. Uh, Me and my spelling. The world might be the corpse of a dead god, a god of light whose death spawned the edge of darkness. This elemental living in it is consuming the body, perhaps hoping to ascend from the consumption of the body. These darkness dwellers might be called duskies as a derogatory term. Ooh. On the Firefox attacks, maybe a chance each time that the fire of the item can become a spawn of the Firefox, like Firefox pups. Ooh. Some connection between Produce Flame and Firefox pups and Find Familiar. The three go together or something. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be awesome. Yeah, yeah. Huemos. Okay, a common used ingredient. Humos. Okay, humos, a common used ingredient in changing the color of light and flames to gold, used in interrogations. If left on the head for too long, eats and shows memories in Technicolor. Ooh, so that's a good way of blending, like taking light and turning it into like a storytelling thing, like a narrating thing. Like you can actually shape the light into various colors of like memories or something, and then we can start to flow into like illusions and such. Firefoxes, Mike says Firefoxes might consume the ash of their prey like dragons in a certain movie. Yep, yep, yep. Shadow dancers, known known light show that plays on cloudy days. Elongated and exaggerated shadows dancing and playing in the clouds. The source has not been found. Ooh. Shadow dancers in the yeah. Details. Shadow dancers in the clouds. Maybe they are shadow really dancers. Um. Shades. Wow. Shades of beings moving and dancing in the clouds. No one knows of the origin, but some claim they see uh, ancestors, enemies, and lost, mm, uh, long lost loved ones. We'll leave it at that. I was thinking of maybe seeing something else, but okay. I like it. And I'm going to go through this later when I get back home. A creature of the sightless might do so as an act of worship. A culture of the sightless might do so as an act of worship. Their other senses might be enhanced by the consumption of a fruit, mushroom, or sap that only spawns in pure darkness. Ooh, like a mushroom. Yeah. They gain the ability to prophesize, perhaps casting augury once a day. Hell's yes. Hell yes. Maybe they are unable to see their auguries, but everyone else gets to see them as they dance in the light, summoned by their dedications. So they are unable to see the very thing that they are able to give to other people. And important, maybe nobles, merchants, rich dignitaries, appointees are surrounded by these blind ones, these sightless caste uh, individuals that give them sights into the future, sight beyond sight. you know, illumines, beings that seem to be made of non-glowing light. They don't seem to interact with the natural world, but seem to live their own lives around us, rumored to be spirits of the dead. Oh, just random. random wandering like spirits. Maybe it's a good omen if they like pass through a wall, or they come near someone's home and they go inside. It's kind of seen like a good omen when they are inside. But the PCs, they're harmful like will o wisps, as they try to keep enemies away from the people that are blessed with these glowing orbs or shadow. They are vaguely humanoid bodily shapes that follow them around or something. Yeah, the world is literally a continual eclipse, a war of balance of light and darkness. Seems like mushrooms would fit in this ecology. Hell's yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A fourth dimensional creature that its tendrils drape into the third dimensional world, latching onto minds, driving some insane, but those who master it can teleport by moving fourth dimensionally. From a light source to light source or something like that. Yeah. All right. I gotta we definitely gotta cut this off close now. But you guys get the point. I think you guys get more than the point, right? So this is definitely where I hope many of you go. If you need me to send you a personal pick of the concept, I will definitely do that for you. Just contact me in any of the ways down in the doobly doo. But yeah, take something simple. I don't care what it is. You go for it. Take it, write it down, fill in some of these. And listen, this was only, mind you, there were a lot of brains here, so we had a lot of brain fuel. But D12, 21 different D12 listings is a lot of material. It's a lot of material. We can come up with different names and names could be anything. People's names of um, rankings in the military, names of political figures or merchants or something. Motivations. Why are people there? Why do they live there? All these things. Notions. Now, I I wrote it down. I decided to keep it. I grew up knowing of notions as things like needle and thread in the sewing section of stores. Other people, the other definition of notions are like people's behaviors. So I don't care what you use it for, fill that up. Past is definitely like what happened in the past, maybe to make this place this way. Present, what are people doing now? Um, Balancing the light and the darkness, hunters out in the dark of the world, proctors running around the city in the light, going into people's homes, questioning why they have dark spaces in their home, things like that. What's happening now? Um, the people, what are the people like? Maybe the way they dressed, their behavior, the types of people that are here, maybe some of their physical descriptions. We've got places. What are places? Do places shed light? Are the walls glowing naturally? Are there, when you arrive at this place, can you pay a couple of copper coins and a dancing light follows you around the city? Um, uh, those kind of things. Do they hand you a dark black, uh, shadowless medallion to wear because you're a visitor to the city? Possessions, things like regular things like uh, what was mentioned at the very beginning of our broadcast, where a light tube like a flashlight. Maybe there are hoods that people wear to get out of the to rest during the day because it's always daylight here or something. Different possessions. Maybe fashion is softly glowing clothes that seem like they're made from silks and such, like a black cloak, but when the inside of the cloak glows from its own inner light or something like that. Different types of sights, sounds, sensations in the city. Statues whose eyes glow perpetually and seem to follow you as you walk, or um, a place of quarantined off, and a big orb of darkness just floats. Uh, you know, half a waist high above a section of the city. Two buildings seeming as if uh, a black hole has sucked a piece of that out. It's just glowing there with maybe a sensation is that you feel like a vibration in the soul when you're close enough to see it floating just above the rooftops. And there are arcanists and warriors keeping people at bay not to go close to it. But it just seems to seem like it's throbbing like a heartbeat or whatever, like those kind of things. Those are examples here. Definitely go into using like uh, definitely think about using things like rust monsters and swarms and all that kind of stuff. 21D12, yes. It's okay. So Let's see. Thomas is interesting. I see what you did there. 21D12 items. Yep. 2112. Yes. 2112 is supposed to be. Yes, Zamara. We all have the GTFO. Uh, I like what you have to say there. Like, since 3D buildings are always open on one side in the fourth dimension, so movement anywhere is possible. Does that mean there might be a warrior class that can instantly teleport anywhere there's light? Anywhere. Or citizens of the city have a specific hue of light in their homes, and that particular hue of light that's in their homes, the city has these guardians that can like transport themselves misty step anywhere that exists. So yeah, maybe some people like to put shrouds over them because they don't want to be bothered. But yeah, 21D12, 21D12. Yeah, 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 yeah. GTFO, 21D12. These are things that are very easy for people to recognize in their head canon, even mistakenly. So I did that on purpose, of course. So guys, anyway, thank you. Yeah, those who master and don't go insane from being infected by the tendrils of that mushroom entity. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, we're going to pay attention to what Zamara has to say. We all have to GTFO, including myself. So, guys, have a great one. World Building Wednesday. We're going to keep building on this. I'm going to go back through this. Thank you there, M squared. Thank you so much. For all of you that have, I was away for over a year. So believe you me, there really isn't any reason for you guys to come back. So I really appreciate it. Again, there's plenty of people who are brand new to the channel. I hope you enjoy the channel, catch up on it. It's basically a podcast more than just like a simple old live stream. Oh, lastly, yeah, every Wednesday we're going to go through it. I'll go back through this, and you guys come up with what you want to do. TA says basically they can teleport anywhere in the universe if they can free that mushroom from the prison of the planet. Ooh, I'm loving all this, and I'm going to end up copying and pasting it. It's easier for me to do it when I'm offline, so we're going to do that. We're going to copy and paste it. Side note, as this goes further, and if we get some, I'm going to try to. I'm going to try to be as slightly annoying to get people to start producing some of this. Yeah, Zamar says, "Do we get a link to the document?" Well, the quick answer to that will be hell yes. I don't intend on keeping it. This isn't a thing for me to make money off of the ideas that you guys produce. The idea is that I will open up the document. My fear is to open it up completely. I could my okay, yeah, I'm scared, but you know what I'll do? Here we go. Here's what we'll do. Right now, we're gonna hit the share button. We are going to only people with access can open with the link. No, let's see. Nope. Anyone with the link. Let's see if we can do this. Let's copy the link. Yeah, I was thinking about the Discord channel. Yep. Post it in Discord channel. Just make a backup copy. Thank you there, Mufa. Yeah. So here's what we'll do. Let's see. That's done, and then I'll make a. Mm, 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 mm. Make a copy. There we go. Okay, made a copy of it. It's available. I will post it. I will post it in the. Once we put it a doobly doo, I can post it here, and then because I can't get to it right now. Someone go into the document and see if you can change anything. Boop, 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 boop. Anonymous llama. Boop, boop. Just make up. I'm going to also put it in a Discord. Let's see if it'll come up. Discord. And then I could negate it. I could delete it out of there when I get a chance. There it goes, Barbara. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see if the exact same thing comes up. Maybe, maybe. There we go. All right, sorry. Oh, okay, okay. So let's go back into the document. Let's go into oh, anyone on the internet with the link can open, but it's not. Let me change it. Nope. Change it to editor. Changed. Done. Now try it. Boom, boom. If you guys don't mind, and then we'll get out of here. uh, uh. Z is like, you should have got the F out. Thank you, Zabara, by the way. Still locked out? Editing. Why is it? I just clicked. Okay, let's do it again. Anyone on the internet with the link can edit. Okay. There it goes. I see it. There it is. I see it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I see one, two, three, at least three. Yep, yep, yep. Guys should be able to do it now. Let me uh, there we go. I reset it. Seems would be better that editing is done by saving a copy to your own docs and then editing your own copy so everyone has the same starting point that has the link. I don't know how to do that. Did the reload work? Okay, there he goes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's in a Discord. So absolutely. Now listen. Okay. Side note: you don't have to work on this. I love the fact that you guys have the energy to do so. But what I want you to do is, yeah, it's a long vid today. I don't have off, but I'm close to work, so it's fine. I don't have much to change in order to get to work. But what I mean is, you can use this to do your own thing as well. So I'm glad you're motivated to do this. And if you've got a great idea, steal this and make your own thing. You're going to get your name on it, and I want people to see your name on your thing, and this will be have everyone's name on it. If you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, it's not for me. It's going to be for everybody, and I want everybody to take it, steal it, work on it, do whatever you want. So, like Zamara0292 has said, we all have to get the fuck out. Bye. I'll see you later. Peace.